If you're trying to lead others, whether it's a team at work, your family, or your five-a-side team, you've got to prioritize how you lead. This video dives into what separates the leaders people respect from the ones they barely tolerate. You'll come away with one simple but powerful mindset shift. Focus on what truly matters. And yeah, there's a story involving a red light, a famous actor, and a man who once got run over by a tank. When you're trying to lead others, prioritizing the way you lead is crucial. Get it right and you build trust, loyalty and momentum. Get it wrong and you become the punchline to someone else's story about poor management. Why does it matter? Well, because the difference between a good and poor leader isn't always obvious in the short term, but it shows up later. In team culture, trust, performance, and stress levels. So let's talk about Winters, Sobel, Dingle, and an unexpected moment at a red light. Now, a while ago, I wrote a blog post about how my mate Dingle earned his spot as an extra on Band of Brothers, a role he landed by turning up to the casting in full US naval uniform, he'd nicked it, and delivering a straight-to-camera monologue so stirring it made Tom Hanks nod approvingly behind a monitor. It was a little story about what Dingle and I call earned luck, how putting yourself in the right place, prepared and ready, opens doors you might otherwise never have noticed. Anyway, fast forward a few years and Dingle is now in a very different kind of uniform. He's now working in the Met Police and driving a squad car through central London with two fellow officers alongside him in the car. And they stopped at a red light, as you should. A cyclist pulls up alongside them and Dingle looks over and instantly recognises the rider. It's Damian Lewis. Yes, that Damian Lewis, British acting royalty. Leading roles in international hits like Homeland, Billions and Wolf Hall. Oh, and also the bloke who played Colonel Richard Winters in Band of Brothers. The very man Dingle had saluted during his time on set. So, keeping it casual, Dingle calls over and they have a brief warm exchange. 30 seconds of friendly chat, good to see you mate kind of thing. The lights then go green and they go their separate ways. And in the car, there's silence. Complete silence in the squad car because Dingle is saying nothing. He's got his lips sealed. His colleagues are sitting there stunned. Eventually one of them just blurts out, "Well, go on then, what the hell was that all about? Are you seriously on first name terms with one of the biggest actors in the country? Who even are you?" Well, let's just say there may have actually been a few stronger words used than, I've relayed here. Anyway, Dingle just shrugged. He said nothing. He kept them guessing. Pretty iconic behaviour, really. But the man on the bike, the man he briefly caught up with, well, let's talk about him for a moment, or rather, the man he portrayed, Richard Winters. Now, in the words of Dingle, who, let's be clear, once got run over by a tank for continuity reasons, he often thinks about something he heard directly from Band of Brothers veterans Bill Guarnier and Babe Heffron. I hope I pronounced that right, but Google them, it's worth it. Anyway, they were comparing Richard Winters and Herbert Sobel, the two key leaders portrayed in the show, and their very different approaches. Winters was all about bullshit, Dingle recalls they said. Big stuff, the big decision, the important stuff, the stuff others avoided. Whereas Sobel was all about chicken shit, the small stuff, irrelevant stuff, stuff that made him feel important. The punchline? Do you demand or command respect? And that's the line that stuck with me from those two old timers, because we've all worked with or for both types of leader. There are the Winters types, clear, calm, competent. People who don't bark orders but lead by example. They make tough decisions, shield their teams and focus only on what truly matters. They inspire trust quietly and consistently. And then there are the Sobels, leaders entitled only. Micromanagers, sticklers for the irrelevant. They confuse control with influence. They confuse being feared with being followed. And often they make everything about them. Now, this video isn't about tearing down the Sobels of the world. It's about not becoming one. In modern leadership, it's dangerously easy to slip into the chicken shit trap. You feel the pressure to look busy, act decisive, exert control. You want to be seen to be leading. But real leadership is often invisible. It's in the calm voice when the room is tense. It's in letting others shine. It's in not overacting to small things. It's in staying focused on the big picture, especially when everything feels urgent. Being like Winters doesn't mean being perfect. It means being intentional. It means holding your nerve. And most of all, it means making your leadership about the mission, not about your own ego. If you're in a leadership position, whether in your work, your community, or your home, ask yourself, am I focusing on what truly matters? Am I leading in a way that earns trust? Am I commanding or demanding respect? And remember, nobody ever followed a leader just because they shouted the loudest. Right, so what's this video's top tip? It's this: pay attention to what kind of leader you're becoming. Are you reacting to the small stuff because it's easier to control, or are you taking the harder path of focusing on what really moves things forward? Be like Winters, calm, grounded, focused on the big picture. The sort of leader who makes other people feel safer, not smaller. So this weekend or whenever you're free, try letting go of a couple of small annoyances. Don't give in to the urge to correct the minor stuff, just to feel in charge. Prioritize what really matters and trust your people, workforce, friends or family, to handle the rest. That's the kind of leadership that endures. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and hit subscribe for more stuff like this. There's plenty coming. And tell me in the comments, what's the most chicken shit thing you've seen a leader fixate on? Who is your Winters and who's your Sobel?